Property Patriot, you are cleared hot. Property Patriot, you are cleared hot.
Good day, high flyers, and welcome to the Aim High podcast. This is your host, the Bud Evans. Today, I am joined by a very good friend of mine, Vinky Loomba. Good morning, Vinky. How are you today?
I'm doing really well. I'm super excited to be with you, Bud. Thanks for inviting me to your show.
It is an absolute pleasure. I know you and I haven't really had a good conversation since like pre-COVID, but you have been, we've both been hyperactive, but you have been knocking it out of the park. Would you mind doing me a favor and giving me a quick identification? Tell me who you are.
Who am I? Wow, that's a good question. I ask myself every day, who am I? It's a very important question. It's just not for the world to know who am I. It's for me too. I need to discover who am I, because once who you are, the things happen for you. That's what I have learned with my experience. So when I learn who am I, my potential, the things start happening. I just sit back and see the magic happening basically. Because what happened is we are always attached to our title. I come from an IT background. I was an IT executive for 20 plus years. And then I was a professor at California State University. So those were my designations, you can say. I was attached to those titles. I'm a professor. I'm an IT person. But what I didn't realize was that I had much more potential than that. I was way bigger than that. So when I discovered who am I, all the doors opened up. So I landed in real estate. I'm a multifamily syndicator, part of a bunch of syndications, and I help people grow their wealth as well as create a passive income stream if people are interested in that.
Right. And that's, you know what, that's probably not a great lead in when I say, who are you? Because Vinky, you're not just an educator in title, but you're also an educator as far as mentoring and coaching other people. Do me a favor. Let's go back to, how did you leave the professorship and wind up in real estate?
There's a story behind it. Actually, I was in real estate since 90s, I would say late 90s. When we got our second home, we put our first home on the market to sell it. But then all of a sudden, my husband realized, oh my God, why we need to sell it? We can just hold it. We can rent it out, because we were in a position to have two homes at one time. So we rented that house and we learned about the passive income flow. And at that time, I got my realtor license, keeping my primary job. I never gave that one up. So on the side, I thought I can sell homes or businesses, and that was a passive income for me. But when I got my realtor license, I didn't want to sell the homes at the time. I thought I wanted to go into retail side because the commission was much more than the residential. So I did that for a while. And from there, we started growing our portfolio more in the single family or duplexes, that space, and also some in retail. But over the course of time, we realized with with two jobs, two young kids, and lots of travel, because we didn't used to have the VPN at that time or the internet. Today's day, the way of working we have in place, we did not have that leisure at the time. We just started reducing our landscape. We just our footprint, thinking about that we cannot handle it. We just focused on our primary jobs. But a few years back, I got a chance to do real estate again, because my job moved to New York and I got a chance to take early retirement. So when I retired from my primary job, I stepped back into real estate. I was thinking to go into merger and acquisitions, because coming from a strong corporate background and being an educator with my primary job, I thought that'll be the best place for me, because I went through so many mergers throughout my tenure and I knew how the system side merger works. So I thought, how hard it's going to be learning the business side merger. So I thought that will be my sweet spot. But then I was trying to look for a connection on LinkedIn who can help me break into the industry. I ran into somebody's profile that read $400 million asset under management. I'm like, what? How did that happen? So I called this person, I asked him, and then he mentioned the multifamily route and syndication route, in which really resonated with me. I jumped on it, and that's what I do now.
You don't just do it. You're very successful at it, Vinky.
Thank you.
You've come a long way. So you and I have known each other for quite some time here, but we both belong to the same several networks. But Can you do me a favor and let's go back and let's go through your first actual multifamily deal? How did you find it?
So my multifamily, I started as a passive investor. I learned about when I spoke to this person, he introduced me to the multifamily investing. So I learned about that. I started researching, and then I found out my good friend, Vinny Chopra, we live in the similar area. We know each other for 30 years. But you know how they say, if something is not in your perception, you do not even know, you do not even inquire about it. And Vinny's been doing this thing for last 15 or 17 or 20 years maybe now. And I didn't even know what he was doing. I knew when he was retired at that time, he was looking to do something in real estate because I was in real estate too. And then my brother is in real estate too. So we were talking all the time because we have the social network, but I never knew that he was doing multifamily. So when I learned about multifamily, then when I was researching, I figured out he was doing the same thing. I'm like, whoa, that's awesome, because we knew each other for a long time to learn from somebody, and he's quite established. He made a place for himself in the industry. And then I reached out to him, and then we started looking into it together. And then I started invested as a passive investor in the first few deals because I wanted to learn the process. And I did not go to any, I would say, the coaching kind of thing. Like people spend so much money, $50,000, $100,000 to join a coaching program, learn from there, and then start doing the stuff. Instead, I wanted to invest my money, $100,000 with somebody here, $100,000 here, and learn the process, first-hand process, because that's the way I enjoy learning. And that was easy for me to do it that way.
More like a trial by fire. Jump right in.
Exactly. And then when I was doing that, at that time, I got a chance to co-GP with somebody because somebody was raising capital. He's like, you wanted to join me as a co-GP in this deal, and then you can learn about the asset management too. You can do asset management. I'm like, fine. This is the opportunity falling in my lap. I just took that. And from there onwards, it's just like an upward trajectory for me. That's what I have to say. But it's working really great because I do partner with other people who are in the industry, who are strong operators, who are in the stronger markets, and they know their business. They have a proven track record. So I build my track record alongside with those people because I was able to participate in their deals as a capital partner, plus on the asset management side, and then grew my portfolio.
Excellent. Now you said co-GP. Could you do me a favor really quickly and just give me a 2-minute explanation on what co-GP actually means?
Co-GP is just like there is in any real estate deal, syndication deal, there are two kind of partners. One is a limited partner. Those are the people who bring the money and they do not have any active role to play in the deal. They fall in the limited partner category. And the other category is GP. It's a general partnership team. So this team is the one who finds a deal and take the deal from conception to completion all the way. They see through everything, every little aspect, every little detail to make sure that we are justifying to investors' money and are giving them the returns that we're projecting for the deal or the way the deal is pitched. So general partnership team is a team. It's not a one person, because there's multiple hats or multiple roles to be played. That's the reason the team comes together. And somebody could be a capital partner, somebody could be an asset manager, somebody could be on just like overseeing the property, or somebody could be doing your financials, somebody could be investor relations. Multiple roles need to be played. Somebody could be a deal finder, somebody could be just a KP, depending upon the deal structure, what exactly you need. It could be 3 to 5 people. And these are, you can say, co-GPs with the operator or maybe the lead sponsor who found the deal or who's signing the loan.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. Now, Vinky, you've been investing in syndication deals for a while. Have you ever had one? What I'm looking for is to show that there is a downside, but that it is recoverable. Have you ever had one that kind of went south on you?
Yes. Actually, as a matter of fact, we're working with one right now. And it just I would say just fell through the cracks a little bit because everybody got super busy. Everybody was just like working on their portfolios, growing. And then I think this one was, we did not have the right partner on the property management side. And we changed the property management team 3 times. That's the reason I say it fell through cracks. If we have figured out early enough, we didn't have to go through that. The proper it was one of my first deals. The proper due diligence, that's why I say it's very important when you're doing the due diligence on the property management company. So I wanted to make sure you're partnering with a strong property management team that they're going to help you take your deal to the completion. So that exactly didn't happen. And these kind of things happen, but you're still within the timeline, 3 to 5 years, I would say. But now we are on the right trajectory. We have the right property management team on board. And then our projections looks really good. So we're trying to get out of this hole. We're going to be out of this hole pretty soon. And we're going to even, I think, go over projections. Even the numbers looks even better now.
Great. Now, just a quick follow-up on that. Now, the property manager that you guys had to release, who actually let them go and who actually sourced the new property management team? Was that a group effort or was it one person?
Yeah, it was a group effort. We have a team and we meet on a weekly basis because when that thing happened, so all of a sudden everybody got the whole team together. So we have weekly calls, everybody gets on, and then all the GP, all the general partners come on board and they talk about it and try to figure out what the next strategy is. I think that's the best way to do it. If you think you have 5 people in the team and only 2 are working, 3 other are not doing anything, that never works out. Because those kind of deals, they go south all the time. Because everybody in the general partnership team, they need to come on board, even to the weekly meetings, because everybody thinks differently. Everybody has a different processing power. Everybody have different ideas. So it's just like bringing multiple ideas on the table and trying to figure out the best strategy for you from going from point A to point B or whatever your path is.
Let's take a quick break.
Hey, do you need help running your business? I don't know what I would do without my executive assistant. Get outsourced solutions for every need by visiting Reva Global. Check them out now and get help for just about every aspect of your business today. From marketing through property management and even administrative virtual assistants. Check out Reva Global. The link is in the show notes. Great. The point is that you're never in this alone when you're in a syndication deal, right?
That's so true. You said it very well, because a bunch of eyes looking at the deal, that's the best part of being in a syndication model, because you never feel alone. And if you're stuck on something, you cannot figure out something, there are other people in your team who can help you strategize that or help you resolve the issue. So you never feel alone. And even I think about the limited partners too, because they're looking at the deal too. Time to time, they're asking you questions. And sometimes you feel like, oh my God, why didn't I think of that? So you might want to implement that to make the things even better for your investors.
And that's a great point. And the fact that they actually do, your limited partners, they're limited, but they're not always silent.
They're not. No, I agree on that, because I have a very good investor relations, because my investors are like my, I would say, family over the course of time. Everybody's on my speed dial and they are not hesitant to call me or text me anytime. They can call me, text me, like, hey, what's going on with this thing? Where are we? Even though we are diligently giving them the monthly updates and their quarterly returns, but still time to time, they're always checking just to make sure that everything is in line.
Great. So let's talk about your podcast. You and I were having a conversation offline. Do me a favor, give me a quick idea of what your podcast, because you're up there as far as podcasters go.
Yeah, I just started just like that. I wanted to have a podcast on mindset, because to me, mindset is very important. Excuse me. Please add it.
Yeah, not a problem.
When I started my podcast, I wanted to have a podcast on mindset only, because like I was saying earlier, when you asked the question, who are you? And I told you, I gave you my 2-minute, 3-minute pitch, who am I is very important. It should be very important to everybody, because once you figure out who you are, your own potential, and you're working at your optimum level, oh my God, sky is not even the limit. Like people say, sky is the limit. There's no skies, like you're limitless. You can get to that stage if you figure out who you are or what your potential is. So my thing was, I accidentally tapped into that knowledge long back I think around 2010. I came back from an overseas trip and I was diagnosed with acute liver damage. Not sure how. And I was at the verge of getting a new liver, or almost dying situation. You can say near death experience. People use that terminology there. So I had one of those. And, but the thing is, I never had liver transplant or whatever. Whenever I had that experience after that, my body started rejuvenating and I was like totally new person, you can say. Without a scratch, I came home from the hospital after 15 days of stay. And my doctor even said, oh, that's a miracle. And after that, I started reading all these spiritual books and Dr. Windor. And then I just read about him that he went through kind of similar experience. So that kind of opened up multiple channels, I would say, in my mind or in my life for me. Started exploring that. So all of a sudden I started thinking, oh my God, I need to have a podcast maybe on the mindset. And on the career side, I already was moving up the corporate ladder. And then eventually I came into real estate and wanted to share all my experiences with others and see how people can do the similar thing. When you learn something new, it's always like that. It's a human nature. You wanted to share. You want others to join as well. So I found one of the other person, he wanted to do a similar thing. So we started the podcast on mind, body, and entrepreneurship. That was my podcast name. So we used to bring people from the diverse background who had similar experiences or who got their switch flipped over the course of time. And all of a sudden they realized their potential. They did much better for themselves. So we're doing that. But then what happened was all my guests was real estate guests most of the time. So my partner, the co-host, he said, I think I wanted to have my own podcast that's just like mindset related 100%, which he has now. So mine just got changed to the real estate vibe that's geared towards real estate. But we do talk about all the success stories. And then we talk about still how the switch got flipped and what made you successful or what is the secret sauce for your success. Those kind of things we discuss. And also I push a lot of real estate related content too. That's just like taking the deal from conception to completion, every part of it, bring different guests from different fields and share their success stories. That's what my podcast is all about.
And you know what? The real estate vibe is exactly why I'm excited to go into the next section here, because I want to ask you a couple of different things. First, you've got the podcast, you're working on syndications. What is on the horizon? What are you working on for the future?
From the real estate perspective?
From anything, mindset, podcast, real estate. Where does Vinky Loomba go from here?
Oh, where do I go from here? My vision is very big. So my thing is, beside all that, I'm very philanthropic. I have a nonprofit as well. So my goal is I wanted to help 1 million people, or I wanted to touch 1 million lives in a meaningful way. That's what my goal is. And that's where I am going. With my podcast, with my real estate gig, or any other way you can say, whatever way I'm progressing in my life. The ultimate goal is the same, to touch 1 million lives in a meaningful way, because that's very close to my heart. And on the real estate side, I always have deals. I'm always raising capital. And what I wanted to do next is towards the end of the year, I wanted to start a fund for myself, a fund model, because I'm mostly capital partner with others. So I wanted to have a fund structure created for me. So I'm going to make it a very smooth sailing for my investors. So they don't have to worry much. They are just like investing in a fund and they don't have to go deal by deal.
Okay, excellent. And I've just got to ask you now, first off, that's beautiful. I love that the fact that you want to reach out and touch 1 million people in a positive way. This is completely, it almost feels like I'm just about to do a 180, but what is one thing that you learned as your wealth increased?
That's a really good question. As your wealth increase, you get more humble. You just wanted to, for me at least, I wanted to be more giving. I just wanted to make more difference. Is I got this power in my hand, so I should have a positive impact of that. And I don't want it to keep it to myself either. And then about the money currency or money energy is like, it does not stay at one place. You cannot just hold it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There's no use of it. Like we talk about that. I talk about in my all my educational webinars and all that too. Money doesn't do you any good sitting in the bank or sitting at one place, even stock market, whatever. It's not like it's not moving. It's essential to know that the money's nature is always moving. And if you are just creating you're creating some kind of system for you where the money is flowing, it's just flowing like at a larger level or a bigger level. So like I was talking about the nonprofit, what I'm trying to do is, because right now, when we support our causes, the money goes there and it dies right there. So every time the new project comes, they're asking for more money. So in my vision, what I wanted to do is I wanted to create the sustainable projects. And instead of just giving people money, employ them, do something. So they're producing more money, more jobs, more something. And if there's any residual, that's going to come back to our real estate syndications. And then from there, money is flowing back to the project. So it's like a more like sustainable model. And then we're not really interrupting the flow either.
That's an excellent model. And I wish you a lot of luck with that. I know.
Thank you so much.
There are so many people that could benefit from that specific model, but for whatever reason, we just keep doing the time to raise more capital, time to get more donations, and throw it at this program and process. And yeah, that's fantastic. Okay. I feel like I could just go down that path between the last two things that we just talked about. I could go down that path for an hour, but I'll save that for the vibe. All right. So let's go into the soaring four. These are the same 4 questions that I ask every guest that can help someone who is just starting out achieve new heights. Are you ready?
Yes, of course. Mm-hmm.
Terrific. Okay. A lot of this is mindset oriented. So the first one is, what do you use to keep yourself motivated?
Well, I keep myself to be motivated. I think my nonprofit, like I told you, I have a goal of touching 1 million lives. That gives me so much happiness. I can talk about my recent project that I did last week. So we gave out food to families, multiple families. And I think that gave me so much happiness. So I have learned over the years, when you're helping somebody in any aspect, it doesn't have to be money. Even you're giving somebody your time or some knowledge sharing session, whatever you're trying to do, that gives you the most happiness. So that's what keeps me motivated. Oh my God, how should I do more so I can bring more to the people?
That's awesome. And right up, I got to tell you, it's not surprising. It's not surprising to hear you say that. So,
thank you.
What is one thing that you learned that completely changed your mindset?
I would say gratitude, because when you are thankful for everything, whatever you have, for example, being here, being with you in this space, I feel really grateful for this. It just opens up more doors for you. I always used to tell my kids, at the time I didn't understand the power of being grateful. I'm talking about 30 years from now. My kids were just born, and when they were growing up, I used to teach them, oh, you got to be thankful all the time. And I remember 15, 20 years ago, one time my son, he asked me, why are you saying that all the time? You know what? If somebody brings you a gift, for example, you say thank you 10 times. Thank you when they bring you, and then when they're leaving, you still say thank you so much. And when you see them again, you still say thank you. I really enjoyed your gift. But the thing is, the gift of life that we have every second of our life, we forget to be thankful for that. And once we learn to be thankful for those each and every moment, even when you're breathing, if you're thankful for that, it makes a huge difference. Because you do not know when you're breathing, right? One breath goes out, if it didn't come back, what's going to happen? You're gone, right? So we got to be grateful for that too.
Okay. What tools do you use to keep you on track?
Oh, my CRM.
Okay.
That's very important for me, because that's how I manage my investor database or all my contacts. I use that. And other than that, I have a time management tool that I use. I use Monday, the software, to work with my VAs to keep them on track. And I also use a Slack channel because that's where we communicate as well. That's easier for everybody, for the whole team. So small little things.
Great. And small little things grow up to be very big, large things, right?
Yeah, that's true. I agree on that. But I think it's all about your vision. You cannot really do everything yourself on a piece of paper. It's very hard to remember, especially for me. So I need to have all these technology tools. And plus, why not, right?
Yeah.
If these tools are there and make our life easier, why not? And even bringing all these VAs or other people into your team, the reason is just that's how you scale, because you're giving the repetitive work to all these people who are expert as all these things. As I say, I try to bring all the SMEs in my team because that way they can take over whatever they're good at it. So I can focus on certain things that I am good at. So I can just add value.
Right. I give my guys the freedom to go out and look at new software or systems or whatever. And I tell them, go ahead, sign up, test drive it for the 7-day free trial or the 14-day free trial or whatever. And let me know what you think. Don't forget where we are right now. Do what you're going to do and see how that. And we're constantly looking for ways to improve in that particular area. But yeah, trying to maintain that momentum, right? Things in motion tend to stay in motion unless acted upon in a force. So what we don't want is that force to hold us back. So keep trying to grow and keep trying to try different things.
That's true. And plus the way the technology is growing is just like exponential growth. Yeah. And the thing's going to be so different. Already the things are different, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now, things going to be totally different. It took us 100+ years to get here, but now it's going to be much faster. The change that we're going to see is going to be total paradigm shift with all these AI tools and a bunch of other things. And Yona was at my meetup today. He was telling me there's a new app is out. It's like similar to Twitter. It's by Facebook. It's called Threads. So I was trying that out too. So you can reply to the thread in the threads to all the tweets that people are gonna do. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I just downloaded it. So it's the first day available. Let's see what it looks like. It just basically looks like Instagram's feed without reels.
That's true. Anyway. And it's like 30 million downloads in one day. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can. It's direct competition to Twitter, they say, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, right? Actually 30 million signups, not downloads. I'm talking about the podcast. That's what is in my mind. But 30 million signups. I was reading about that. I'm like, wow, that's pretty amazing. So see, people are hungry for all this technology, the new tools out there. Everybody's hungry because especially the younger generation, they're all about the experiential generation. They're all about experiences and all that. So they just jump on it right away. Not like our days. I remember when the internet came in early 90s, I think. So it was just like the crawling network. But still, it was just like we were the laggards to get on.
Vinky, I'm going to date myself, but I had a phone that I could put my modem. I had to put the handset on the phone, on the modem for it to work and dial a number on my on my keyboard to dial into a specific database. And you could only do like college campus type stuff. So we've come a heck of a long way. Now I can pick up my phone and I can ask Siri, I can say, and ask it to ask ChatGPT, hey, can you ask ChatGPT this? And it will read while I'm driving, and it will give me a breakdown of whatever prompt that I've just asked Siri to put into ChatGPT. While I'm driving, it will read that to me. And then it'll stop and I can just say, continue, and it'll continue until it actually finishes the story. AI is absolutely amazing and frightening, but still quite amazing. Yeah, exactly. I could go down a whole rabbit hole about AI, and I just saw a new program that they're introducing where you can upload a photo of yourself and it will generate a picture as an avatar that will read AI generated text in your voice after you clone it. Is essentially you're deep faking yourself and creating YouTube videos potentially. So it's pretty crazy. So Vinky, getting off the topic of AI, let's go back a little bit. If you had to change one thing, if you were going to start all over again, what would it be? Excellent. Okay. Vinky, if someone wanted to reach out to you, how would they do that? Fantastic. Excellent. Okay, Vinky, everything that we talked about, your connection will be, I'm sorry. Let me restate that. Vinky, your contact information will be down in the show notes. I thank you very much for your time today. It is an absolute pleasure. Again, until the next time we meet, aim high. Thanks for being a part of the Aim High community. Your support drives us to create valuable content, and we can't wait to see your success stories in real estate investing. Till next time, aim high, never stop learning. Bud Evans, signing off. We'll see you soon.